What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Dogecoin today. This is one of my favorite coins, you guys. I really do love Dogecoin. I want to start off the video by saying that because I am going to be bearish. I'm going to get bearish. Surprise, surprise. But I love Dogecoin. It's actually like one of the coins that I actually just like root for in my core. Like absolutely, man. I think this thing is going to see prices above $3, maybe even above $4 by the end of the cycle. Here we are sitting at 7 cents right now. So even if I am bearish, what are you doing? Get some Dogecoin. No, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't own any Dogecoin right now. I don't plan on owning Dogecoin until sometime next year. That's a video for another time. But all in all, right now I do think Dogecoin's going down. I actually think it's going to go lower than this though. And if we zoom out on a weekly, I think that we're even actually going to go lower than this though, all the way down at 4.9 cents. Here we are sitting at 7.1 cents. I feel like that's a bold call, especially with like the market climate right now. But if we zoom out, it's really not that bold of a call, is it? Because we have this giant descending triangle that we're in. I mean, to me, it looks like a descending triangle. I could be wrong. You know, I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. You got your like flat base here, kind of, right? And then, I mean, more or less like that, right? Boom, descending triangle. This not so bullish move anymore is actually just another lower high, and you have no volume. The volume is abysmal. It's actually very sad. Let's look at the USDT. Maybe it's a little bit better on this. No, it's not. Lower volume, right? Bigger candle here than this one, and yet about half the volume. Now we do have 2 days and 21 hours left, so there is still time for volume to come in and this move to go up higher. But I don't think we're going to. I think a lot of cryptos look like they want to turn around now. Dogecoin has a way of like stealing the spotlight when everything else is down, right? Like today, the past couple days, Dogecoin's been moving up, right? And everything else has been stalled or moving back. We went up 5% yesterday, big whoop, 5%. People get trapped in this. They hear about Dogecoin. They think like, oh, it's going to go on a big move. I wonder, man. I really wonder, actually. Did Elon Musk tweet about it or X about it? Did he X marks the spot it? Let me see. Elon Musk. Let's see here. Access humanity's collective consciousness, sleeper agent. If you're not using AI, you're falling behind. Maybe. Yeah, nothing. I mean, it doesn't seem like he's made a post about Doge. Let's see. It's kind of funny that this is like analysis. I don't know if anybody watched this, man, but that is extremely concerning stuff, Elon. Well said, sir. People in your address book, people you follow, verified users. Interesting. Nothing. I don't see anything, man. So he hasn't talked about Dogecoin. I don't know. That would have been the cherry on top. But guys, a lot of people make the misconception, and I think Elon Musk is a big reason why Dogecoin saw this like huge pump last cycle for sure. He brought a lot of spotlight and attention to it. You know, there was a lot of crazy stuff going on in the media, but he has made numerous tweets about this thing since its all-time high. He doesn't control it. He's making the same tweets. He might have even made more bullish tweets after the all-time high than he did before the all-time high. You know what I mean? So like the idea that he's the one manipulating this market. I remember there's a media story out there saying like he's like some bored genius who just loves to mess with people. It's like I think he likes to mess with people, but I don't think he's messing with people by like manipulating the Dogecoin stuff like that. He's got better things to do, man, than that kind of stuff. But I'm going off on a tangent here talking about Elon Musk and Dogecoin. What I'm trying to say, guys, back to the technicals. So we have lower highs, flat base, doesn't look good. We will likely, statistically speaking, this is a bearish pattern that would break to the downside. And if you were to measure this thing from, technically you would measure it from here, but let's measure it from the closing basis to like there, something like that, and you estimated where like the point of break would be, that would take us all the way down to about 2.8 cents. 2.8 cents. I know that sounds crazy. Trust me, I know we're sitting at 7.15 cents right now, but from bottom to top here, if you look, your 1618, your golden ratio extension is at 2.4 cents, just a little bit below 2.4 cents. 2.8 cents is not crazy, guys. You want to take an even further look at this thing. Go to Doge USD on Bittrex. It's got the all-time history. It's got the most history out of any chart that I can find on TradingView. The all-time high before is at 1.8 cents. 1.8 cents. When we found our last cycle's low, look at this. We went below the previous all-time high. We actually went below it. So it wouldn't be crazy or out of character for Doge even to go below that. We are at 7.1 cents, you guys. I want to do something that I haven't done, I wasn't going to talk about it on here, but let's talk about it. Let's do it. BTC USD on the index, new price scale, so I can move it around a little bit. We're going to make it logarithmic. There we go. Okay, so looking at this thing here, we can just see it, right? Right. Orange line's Bitcoin. The candles are Dogecoin. Bitcoin found its low over here. Dogecoin found its low over here. But arguably for Bitcoin, the bull market started over here and it started to go on this parabolic run, right? Where Dogecoin did not have a parabolic run, right? It just kind of like meandered and went sideways for a long time. If you were in Dogecoin and you're like, Dogecoin's going to go to the moon, all while Bitcoin was doing this, you would look silly, right? Right up until the end here where it just blew up explosively, had a courageous move to the upside. But if you look at it, when this move happened, not where it bottomed, but when the real like action to the upside happened was right here. If we take into account that on the Bitcoin chart here, that this is the all-time high, this was the low for the cycle or like something back here, you could argue that the bull market started back here or here, wherever you want to say it started. You know, if we put that at the top there, let's do the first low, the closest one. This is well over halfway through the bull market before we saw truly spectacular things happen. Well over halfway through the bull market for Bitcoin. Okay, you can see that, right? I have a point. If you don't know where I'm going with this already, just stay tuned because it'll make sense, I promise. I need to move this Bitcoin thing down. So again, next cycle, okay? Here's Bitcoin's cycle low. We all remember that, right? December of 2018. That was down to about $3,000 for Bitcoin. We'll put a line there. Dogecoin did not find its low yet. It actually found its low over here, okay? But it did not go on its dramatic, like crazy move until here. But let's be nice. Let's say all the way back here. Let's say like that's where it started, okay? Because that was like the low point relatively, and then we started to move up. And then the bull market for Bitcoin didn't end. The all-time high didn't come in over here. Well, between these three space lines, are we closer to the all-time high to where the bull market ended, or are we closer to the low, the cycle low where the bull market started? We're actually closer to where it ended yet again. Before, it had this explosive move up. Yes, it had its all-time low before that, but just humor me, right? There's plenty of time is what I'm trying to get to with Dogecoin to invest. That's why I don't own any right now. I don't, this move, it's up to 7 cents right now, whatever. It's not going to be anything. It's done the same thing the last two cycles where anyone who's invested in Dogecoin has been laughed at right up until the end. It proves you wrong ultimately, but right up at the end is when it does it right. If you were holding it throughout this whole time with Bitcoin, people would have been like, you're crazy, you're dumb, bro, get out of it. Buy some Bitcoin. Bitcoin finally breaks above 20,000. You're like, maybe I should buy it, and you miss this whole Dogecoin rally. Don't be one of those people. Make money on Bitcoin. Make money on other cryptos, and then once you've done that, over halfway through the cycle, sell it and put it into Dogecoin. That might be a good idea. That's not financial advice. I'm just speaking from what I'm seeing on the charts. Looking at it this time, the low for Bitcoin came in November of last year, right? Actually, it was the week before this, so it was like November 7th, yeah, that week there. The low for Dogecoin actually came before the low this time. That's a first. I don't think that's actually what's going to happen, personally. But Bitcoin's bull market has arguably started. Now, the bull market is expected to end at the earliest sometime at the end of 2024, but more likely toward the end of 2025, something like that, right? These are like ideas, right? So if at a minimum, like between these two white lines here, the halfway point would be basically right there, right? Oh, maybe a little bit further over. Halfway point would be right here, right? I mean, I feel like where it would like really start to turn up based on what we've seen before would be sometime in like the beginning of next year or the middle of next year. We have plenty of time to come down and then move up from there. I don't know. That's all assuming that it's based off of 2024 being the cycle top. I don't see that. What would make more sense to me is that it ends somewhere in the end of 2025. Dogecoin doesn't start to really move up until 2024, something like that, toward the end of 2024. And that gives us more than enough time to find this low and get some resolution to this overall bearish pattern that we're in. I'm going to get rid of Bitcoin right now. Talking about this descending triangle that we're in. We're definitely in a descending triangle. Now, the thing I want to say before I end this video is that descending triangles are inherently bearish. Statistically speaking, they have a higher likelihood of breaking to the downside. Likelihood does not mean certainty. It is completely possible that this thing could go up, right? It could break out of a bearish pattern bullishly. It can do that, but I'm going off of expectations. I'm not going off of emotions or opinions. This is another lower high, and when you zoom it out, it's nothing to be impressed by. So if anybody's feeling FOMO to get into Dogecoin, take a breath, realize that even if it goes higher from here, the truly spectacular move itself is not going to happen until sometime next year. Likely the end of next year, if not at the earliest, like the halfway point of next year, somewhere more than halfway. Actually, if you went back and measured it, do it yourself. I've done it a few times. It's actually very close to 2/3 of the way through the bull market from start to finish, from cycle low to cycle top. If you took 2/3 of the time it took to do that, that's around the time Dogecoin starts to turn up. So right now we're like only a third done. We have a whole nother third of the bull market to go, well after the halving both times before. So long story short, guys, I do think Dogecoin's going to go down from here. I think this might have been the top. If it goes up, it's only going to go up a little bit more. And then ultimately, I think we're going to go lower than this low here. I really do. I think we're going to go potentially below 3 cents and maybe even below 2 cents. I'm going to be buying Dogecoin. I have my buy order set up for Dogecoin at 3.5 to like 3.7 cents. Maybe my lowest one's at 3.2. I forget. It's been a while since I've looked, but it's around there, and I do expect it to go closer to 3 cents, but I'm not playing the game. Wherever I think the bottom's going to be, I always buy above that, because I try to set like relatively not conservative price targets. I try to set conservative buying targets, but I try to be realistic with my price action. And then even if thinking that it could go that low, I like to buy above that because I just want to get in. I don't want to be the guy. If you bought down here, you were the absolute low, good for you. You can feel like a champion all you want. I would feel just the same buying up here. Like I don't need that. So same thing with the top, man. I would feel just as good about selling here as I would here. Sure, it would be great. It'd feel even better to sell the absolute top, buy the absolute low, but nobody's going to do. I mean, someone does it, but it's the odds of it being you, man. It's really hard. And then even then, if you're selling at the all-time low or buying at the all-time low or selling at the all-time high, you're not going to get your whole position liquidated there, right? If you're trying to buy $1 million worth of Dogecoin or $100,000 worth of Dogecoin or $10,000 even, do you think at that low right there at 4.9 cents, do you think that $10,000 worth of Dogecoin was sold there? Probably not. Probably not. Maybe across every exchange, sure, but on the one exchange that you're using, probably not. That's also why, by the way, I use 5 exchanges, not just one. If you're an American like me, the more exchanges you use, the more your money's insured. Each exchange is insured $200,000. They're FDIC approved. So if you're potentially going to have a lot of money, let's say you're a millionaire. Well, they don't cover $1 million, but if you use 5 different exchanges, they cover $1 million. So it's good to not just diversify in cryptos, but it's good to diversify in exchanges too. You can own the same crypto on each exchange, but that's more secure. You never know when an exchange is going to get hacked, proved fraudulent, the SEC decides to shut it down for whatever reason, they go down for maintenance. It's nice to have your money free in other places too. Cold wallets are important for all of those reasons that I just labeled. If you're using a cold wallet still, I would think having it in multiple cold wallets would be good. Don't just store it all in one. But yeah, that's just me. It's not financial advice again. That's just how I would do it, and that is how I do it. So I'm not going to buy Dogecoin anytime soon. It will be sometime next year, probably a whole year from now, actually, before I buy Dogecoin. But it is exciting to see this thing go up. I love seeing Dogecoin go up, man. Even whenever I'm not in it, it's nice to see a little bit of excitement. I love that it's been doing basically nothing. Like it's been basically doing nothing with this one bit of excitement as an exception. It's been doing nothing since June of last year. and it has still remained such a relevant topic. So many people are hopeful for this thing. I think it's going to do tremendous things. Let's end this on a bullish note. I'm about to end this video, but let's end it on a bullish note as to why I think that Dogecoin is going to go potentially above $4 in the coming cycle. Actually, I'm going to go back to the Bittrex chart. That might help. So looking at it here on the monthly, again, this is the all-time history that we have for Doge. If we take this first high to the all-time low, the first cycle high to the first cycle low, we went all the way up to the 1618. We actually broke just a little bit through it. We broke through it though, right? We prodded it. We take the next high to the next low, the next cycle low. We went all the way up to the 2414. Yet again, broke through the 1618. This time we obliterated it. But that's 2 times that we've at least broken through the 1618 at the all-time high, right? From that top, let's say this was the low. Let's just pretend that I'm wrong. It doesn't go lower. Maybe this descending triangle breaks out bullishly. So what? If it does, it's still not going to do anything miraculous until later. You know, you can make gains in other cryptos and then cycle it through whatever. Ultimately make more money, hopefully. That's the kind of idea. But if we look at this right now, the 1618 here is at $3.94. And we've broken through the 1618 each cycle before this, okay? We've broken through the 1618 each cycle before this. If we do go lower, if I stand to be correct, and that we go lower than this, that 1618 only moves up as you pull this line down, right? So the lower we go, the potentially the higher we go. Probably not, right? If we went lower than this, though, Dogecoin's broken, something happened, that's not good. Probably if we went below like 78% of a penny, things would be really bad. But, you know, if we went back to this all-time high, for example, which again, we found this low just below this all-time high. If we found a low right at the all-time high, the 1618 is at $7.15, and that would put it at an insane market cap, you guys, of like $700 billion or something like that, $800 billion. I forget what the market cap would be, but it would be insane. But it is possible. It is totally possible for something like that to happen. I'm more, you know, looking at it like that. Around a $4 price would be, I think, somewhere what, like $500 or $600 billion. It's either 500 or 600 billion. I forget. I'm not going to do the math right now, but you know, the 1618 in itself is what was it at? 2.3. Yeah, it was at it's almost at 2.4 cents. If we went to the 1618 extension to the downside, you know, this 1618 extension to the upside would actually be at $6 in itself. So, let alone the minimum expected extension would be right here, this 1272, right at $1.85. I very much do think that Dogecoin will be worth multiple dollars by the end of this cycle. It's sitting at 7 cents now. So as bearish as I am, talking about it going below 3 cents, maybe even below 2 cents, it's not at a bad area to buy. Especially if you're not playing the game, you're just going to hold it. You want to just buy. If it goes lower, buy more. If it goes lower, buy more. If that's your game plan, don't let me stop you from buying. But maybe think twice about the situation that we're in right now, right? This does, you know, if you're looking, come on now. If you're looking from like a zoomed out point of view, this does just look like another lower high. So I'm not too excited about this, though. I am excited about Dogecoin overall. I think it's going to do miraculous things. But in the meantime, boring. It's going to be boring. It's going to go down, and then it'll still be boring after that. And then when everybody's eyes are off of it, everyone's like, it's not going to do the same shit anymore. It's done. It's a forgotten about coin. That's when it's going to do spectacular things. And that's probably going to happen sometime next year. So if you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up. I love all the likes. I appreciate them very much. If you haven't subscribed already, please feel free to do so. I try to make content every day, not about Dogecoin specifically, but just about crypto specifically. I do TA on all kinds of coins, you guys. Again, I don't talk about Dogecoin all the time, even though it's one of my favorites, because man, it's been boring. Besides this 1 week of excitement, this 1 week of excitement, this like 1 week of, you know, it's besides this current week of excitement, which is why we're talking about it, right? But yeah, I think that's all I got. I wanted to say something else, but that's all I got. So take care, everybody. Have a great day, and see you on the next one. Bye bye.